Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and today you get to join us for a little portion of our feed day. So what we've noticed, at least what I've noticed, as you grow in your career or your breeding passion or hobby, whatever you want to call it, you kind of change how you do things, and it's because you have to change. So you have to kind of evolve to make sure you're doing things safely. You guys know we feed live, so this is going to be a live feeding video. If you don't want to see rats get eaten by snakes, probably time to dip out now. That's your fair warning. Why are we showing this video since YouTube is going to want context? Let me give you a little context, YouTube, as to why we're showing this video. We're showing you the process we use, and we use this process to ensure that we never leave rats in with snakes, and that our snakes get a chance to eat live food the way we find that works best for us in as safe as a manner as possible with this size collection, with making as few, which means zero, because mistakes are not acceptable when it comes to leaving a live rat in a tub. Just can't happen. So this is what we've used to prevent that from happening. Okay, now we laid that context out, we'll show you a little bit about the process. We're going to get on to feeding this entire rack of snakes with you today to show you how it works. One, we use the tried and true method of pen and paper. Nothing beats pen and paper. I can look back really quick, see the records really fast. I ain't got to screw with any apps or open anything. You know, I don't have to have my cell phone with me. It's right there. Anybody can do it while I'm gone if I don't have my phone. It's real simple. It's just easy, and so I can really tell what's going on, what a snake's eating on, etc., etc., etc. So we use those. Each snake has a sheet. We go in order. We mark down what we put into the tub, right? Then later on, we'll go back through, pull it out, go back in order, ensuring we hit every single one, mark whether or not it ate, or whether or not we, if we take it out. That way we're seeing every snake twice during feed day, once when we feed it, once when we pull it out. This is also a great chance when we go back through, if there's a little bit of maintenance that needs done or a water, we'll do it then. So you may see a water that's low or something like that now. That's perfectly normal. When we go back through, we'll take care of those things. Are we ready? I think we're ready. So we're going to start with our super pastel axanthic male. It's been getting smalls and pups. I'm going to open this one up so you guys can see it. There it is. It's doing good. It is one of our breeders. I'm going to put it back up here now where Kurt can't show it anymore. I know that really sucks, but don't worry, there's going to be plenty you can see. So we'll take a pup, simply place a pup in the cage, close that cage up, and then we'll mark it down. Today is being whatever it is, I think the 15th. And pup. Tell you what I'll do, just for the sake of filming, I'm going to go ahead, put that one over there. I'm going to put these two to the side. So Kurt can't show that row. We'll skip that row. I will come back and do them without the camera so you guys aren't having to watch, really boring stuff of tubs you can't see. 181307. This one's a tub that needs a little maintenance. So we can simply come through before we clean or before we feed. Do a little maintenance. Usually I just throw this into my trash can. However, not here right now, so I have to stick it up there. I can see it's been feeding on pups as well. So we'll grab it a pup, drop it in there, close it up, leave it be. So as you can see, it's not really a rocket science of how we do this. 1914-08, this is our little scaleless head lemon blast female that we produced in-house. Also been feeding on pups. There. This is our GHI female. It's been a slow growing snake for us, although we had a poop and a shed, so that's good news. We're going to see if maybe she will eat. Now, she has been eating pups for us as well lately. Wait a minute, I forgot to turn the page. She's been eating pups and smalls for us. So we're going to stick with the pup because she did skip her last meal. Again, that's why I like the paper. It's very quick to see what is going on. Now, if you want, you can save these records when you fill them up. Then we get on to our boy, 1914-08, sorry. No, we're down one, aren't we? Down to our boy Odin. Now, Odin is an interesting snake. He's been off and on, which is pretty normal for him, knowing him as a breeding male. So I'm not too concerned with him being off and on. We'll also throw him a pup. He's big enough to eat smalls, but he tends to like his meals a little smaller. Now, we just heard something get popped. I'm going to bet it was right here. So you can see there, you know, it's doing good, no problem, good to go. Close that up, move on to the next one, which is going to be 1903-08. Now this is an interesting little snake. This is a killer bee head exanthic. So I got to go over here. It's actually been eating smalls, which seems like a pretty good sized meal for it, but this is a snake that grows really well. So we'll go with a small rat here. And you can see she's pretty tuned up, so we'll see if we can't get a feed here for you. Da-da-da-da. Da-da! Oh, you missed. So there we are. We did miss, and it is spider. Now, that doesn't mean all spiders miss. Trust me, this snake eats on its own all the time. I think it just recoiled back a little too fast. Go back that way. We're a little excited. But, proof in point, I have never hand-fed that snake, and you can see how big it is. So, it obviously eats well on its own. Just not used to eating with an audience, to be honest. Whoop. There you go, like I told you, and you can see good feed, good solid hit. So we come down here to these pieds. Now these pieds are snakes that they're the slowest growing snakes ever. So we're gonna stick them with a pup and we're gonna hope for the best. Will you eat that for me? I'd really appreciate it. That's the snake that should be breeding, but it's taking extra time just because it's slow to grow. Now this is our male scaleless head lemon blast. So he is a proven breeder male. Let me see what he's been feeding on. We've been doing pups with him too. Here's the thing too, he kind of tends to go on and off, which is also okay. He looks like we might be on today. We'll see. So far nothing. Close that back up. And then we have our champagne Inchi. Now the champagne Inchi has been eating, it ate really good, was up to eating smalls, and it kind of slowed down, and then it kind of ate a mouse, and then it went into shed. So what we're gonna try to do today, so we're gonna take a peek at it before we pick what to feed it, see how it's going, because it did shed, so we can pull that out. And we're gonna probably go ahead and try a pup on this animal, just to see if we can't get her back on a little bit bigger meal, and then go back to smalls with her. Now, she's growing perfectly well. I'm not too concerned. She is an 18, so we weren't expecting for her to breed coming into this year, but I would expect next year she'd be ready to go. Outside chance of late. Oh man, I dropped the pin. Guys, I broke my pin. That's a sad, sad day. I think I really did break my pin. This is usually a two-person job, so this riveting video of me trying to fix a pin is brought to you by me doing a two-person job. By myself. So, when in doubt, we're just going to use it like this. Fucking piece of shit. We'll put Pup on there. Ah, damn, I tell you, it makes me mad. So then we're over here, 1809-05. Now this is our Paradox albino, so this is a really cool snake. It's also possible head exanthic. It's just awesome. And it's kind of been eating pups and smalls and back and forth. It looks like it's kind of tuned up today, so I'm actually going to go ahead and offer it a little bit bigger meal. See if we can't get a little bit lucky here. And you also got to learn to kind of watch and read your animals. So I open the tub and she's kind of at the front. She's smelling around and she's being curious. Chances of her eating a little bit higher. Just like that. Boom, boom, boom. So everything looks good there. We can close that back up. We'll still go back through and double check, even though I hadn't written on there yet, because I'll have to get me a new pen too. This one's going to be busted. Because we want to make sure she actually swallows. This is an in-house snake that we've been raising by hand that we produced. It is a fire het pied, fire yellow belly het pied, looking a little dark right now, and it's been eating pups. It's been a little bit slow to grow. Now see, that thing's setting back like it wants to bite, right? Like it looks like it may want to eat, but it's also partially defensive, as you can see there. So I don't know if it's after me or after the rat. Looks like it's more after me, and we'll close it, give it some privacy, and hope for the best. So, but that's not uncommon from that snake. And again, it comes down to knowing your animals. So then we have the super pastel scaleless head. And again, this is one that we brought in-house. Now, as you can see, it's doing really good. It's been eating on pups. Just due to size, it hardly misses a meal. So I want to get it a little bit bigger before we step up to smalls. You can see, great feeder on that one. All right, Kurt, what do you think we should do? Should we stop here or finish the entire rack? We got to go back through too. Okay, YouTube, so we get about 10-15 minutes in between, and now we're going to go back through here and see what I went and finish this rack so you guys don't have to watch Kurt struggle to be tall. And we're going to go ahead and start right here. So again, we have our list. This one, as you can see, no rodent in there. It ate. So that's kind of the whole thing. So we go through. I don't need to mark it. I know I can pull it out, set it up there as a successful feed. Come over to this one. Check it out. Look at that. It ate. Boom. Successful feed. Man, it's going well. Skip that one. Come down here. Oh, we have our first no feed. So we pull it out, put it back. You are going to have that at times, and then all we simply do is mark it, the circle and a line. That indicates it didn't eat. Going back through here. Like I told you, this guy is always off and on. Pull him out. One of those male things. Then come over here, 19038. Look at that, that thing ate. Yum, 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 yum. So you set that simply over here. And then that brings us here, the pied. Of course, the pied continues to frustrate everybody with its lack of willingness to eat. It kind of eats almost every other week. Like I don't know why this thing's such a pain in the butt. Now this guy, being that he's breeding, probably isn't going to eat, and he did not. And that's okay. We're not worried about that. His holding body weight good, his holding size good. This time of year, he normally is not eating great, so it's pretty normal. This is what I'm hoping ate for me, and it did. You can actually just see it's finished and swelling up right now as that thing is working down its body. Awesome. Yum, 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 yum. All right, so we'll put that one over here. Then we get down to here, in the process of swallowing right now, so you can kind of see how that works. And again, if you're wondering what the black is on that, it's what's called a paradox. So some of the colors didn't code very well. That's actually skin pigmentation, not dirt. It's got 2 spots on the side of the neck, and those 2 spots you see. So there's not a whole lot of paradoxing, but it's a really cool paradoxing. I don't know, it's one of my, I think, coolest snakes we've ever produced. Probably my favorite albino I've ever produced by far. Very high contrast, and then you get all of that paradoxing. It's really cool. And then, last but not least, did not eat. And if you're wondering what that was for, that was just, so these snakes strike off a couple things. And you can see she took a defensive swing at me once already, correct? That's the first one you've missed in 2 weeks. So all I'm doing there is they usually look for heat signature and movement. So their eyes are picking up the movement. So by blocking that up, I simply took away the movement so I could do what I did, and problem solved. And then, where do we put the sheet for this one? I'll have to find that sheet, because the sheet wasn't in my hand, so it's somewhere. But as you can see, it is eating. And that is a super pastel scaleless head female. We can just take a second. Kurt, while that thing is doing its thing, you got any questions?
Yeah, when you say pup, is that a puppy dog that you're feeding?
That is not. And you know, it's funny because we've done a lot of feed things here and a few on TikTok, and somebody's always like, you guys are monsters feeding dogs to snakes. Look, we would never feed a dog to a snake. I love dogs. I've got 2 of them. Kurt has like 14 dogs. We're not, so we're talking about a pup. It's a rat pup. Pup is the size of rat, not a puppy dog. That's a very good point. So yeah, we're never feeding, we're not feeding cats, we're not feeding dogs. The only thing we feed to our snakes are rodents. That being said though, let's be blunt, let's be honest. Do these things in the wild have the ability to eat that kind of stuff? These? Probably not. Certain snakes, sure, there are snakes that will eat family dog if they're big enough. So you should probably be careful about letting those two things interact together. But we don't do that. And the reason we use rodents is, one, it's very close to their natural food, closely related. It is not their natural food, it's not rats, but it is a rodent. And then on top of that, they're easy to produce, they're easy to make. I mean, yes, people do love them as pets, and I totally understand that, and I wouldn't begrudge anybody who wanted to keep a rodent as a pet. Man, knock yourself out. Kurt keeps several pet rats he's picked over the years. Not uncommon, but they are a food source. Just like I used to raise cattle with my grandfather when I was a kid. You knew those cows, you fed those cows, you watered those cows. I went out and had to cut ice off of water for those cows, but I still ate them at the dinner table without thinking twice about it. It's part of the food chain. Anything else you want to add, Kurt?
No.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.